Phones are released each year offering shiny new features, but some of them are a little niche. And of course there are some genuinely useful features like better battery, better water resistance and dust resistance, and a better camera. But what is it like going back to a phone from just a few years ago? In this video I'm going to be testing a flagship from 2016, the iPhone 7. We're just going to breeze past the specs because they don't always mean real world performance. These are the specs of the iPhone 7 and these are the specs of the brand new iPhone 13 Pro. As you can see, some of the specs have literally doubled. The design of this device is great. It's very thin, light, and doesn't feel like it's going to break if you drop it. It also doesn't get covered in fingerprints, unless you get the jet black version, which in my opinion does look better. That being said, it is quite a boring device. There's not many unique things about it, but it does look better than the iPhone 6 and 6S in my opinion. The phone's resolution is pretty bad in today's day and age, and somehow Apple have released the iPhone SE 3 with the same resolution, which is just baffling in 2022. The screen doesn't actually look that bad when you're looking at it in person. The colours are good as well, so that's a positive. It does have some pretty thick bezels though, but surprisingly the viewing experience when watching videos isn't the worst because it was the first iPhone to introduce stereo speakers. That being said, when it comes to sound, the iPhone 7 was one of the most controversial iPhones ever released, simply because it got rid of the 3.5mm headphone jack that many people still want to use today, but most people have got used to this and got Bluetooth headphones. I know that I use AirPods or a dongle. You can't charge your phone and use a dongle at the same time though, so it is pretty annoying. Located within the big bezels is Touch ID. This is something that I really genuinely miss on newer iPhones, just because you can pull it out of your pocket and it's already unlocked by the time you're looking at your phone. And in the pandemic, it would have been really handy on the newer phones, but now Apple have added face unlock while you're wearing a mask. The iPhone 7 did introduce some pretty nice features like an IP rating of 67, meaning that it can be submerged in water at 3 feet for up to 30 minutes. It followed on from the iPhone 6S that introduced 3D Touch, which is something I also miss on the newer iPhones. The overall performance of the phone is surprisingly snappy. You will see a jitter here and there, and upon reboot you'll see a lot of them, which is something you wouldn't see on newer phones, but how often do you actually turn your phone off and on? Apps do open fast and games do run smoothly. Okay, so that really wasn't the best. And now I've got an ad. When it comes to storage, do not get a 32GB phone. This is 32GB and it can't even download many games or take many photos or videos. You can get an iCloud storage plan, but that's a different thing and you'd be paying monthly for that storage. Just get a higher storage on the phone and you won't regret it. Looking at the bottom of the phone, the only way to charge it, like mentioned earlier, is through the lightning connector. There is no wireless charging due to that metal back. The battery does charge pretty fast, but that is because it is quite a small battery, meaning that it also decharges pretty fast. Using the phone, you'll get about 4 hours of battery life. You can squeeze a whole day out of it if you're not using it much or listening to music, but gaming, taking videos, watching videos, it just drains the battery and you can see the percentage going down very fast. So if you do plan on getting one of these phones, definitely make sure that the battery health is in good condition. The phone has 2 cameras, a 12MP rear facing camera that can record 4K at 30fps and it's got 1080 at 120fps. The dynamic range is something that I didn't think was very good when I downgraded from the iPhone 12 because you can clearly notice a difference when you're shooting a subject if the subject is backlit. The low light photography also isn't as good as on the 12. And when it comes to the front facing sensor, it's decent in good lighting conditions, but it's not the best in low light. This is recorded on the front facing camera. I'm stood next to a window right now and as you can see the picture quality actually looks quite good. This is recorded at the maximum the front facing camera can do, 1080 at 30fps. Focusing outside, you can see I become very underexposed. So if you want a cheap iPhone, is this worth it? The simple answer is yes it is. It's actually surprisingly good for how old it is. Just keep an eye out on the storage option that you're going to buy and the battery health. Make sure that they're both good and you probably won't regret it. The only thing is, it is quite an old phone, so it's been updated quite a lot. We don't know how many more updates it is going to get, but it is rumoured to get iOS 16. I'm just editing this video and sadly Apple have announced that the iPhone 7 won't be getting iOS 16. This is really disappointing and a lot of people online have said about it as well. This just means that it won't receive any new features, and around 2 years after that is when you'll notice that a lot of third-party apps will stop supporting this device. So it is completely up to you if you want to buy a device that will no longer get updated or not. If you've enjoyed this video or it's offered you any value at all, consider checking this video out next, and please like and subscribe and check out my channel for more tech related content. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much for watching. We're almost at 500 subscribers.